Hello and welcome to my video where I'm going to show you how to do the PURLWISE version of C2B and C2F cables. These are 2-stitch cables, which mean you pass one stitch over another stitch, and today I'm going to be showing you two different ways of making these cables without a cable needle. The reason I don't like to use a cable needle for such small cables is that they're quite time consuming and awkward. These methods are much more efficient. Okay, so as you can see, I've already done some knitting, which is stockinette stitch surrounded by a garter stitch border, and I've already knit some C2B and C2F cables. I made these the normal way on a right side row, and now I'm going to show you the PURLWISE version of these, which we do on the wrong side rows. So first, I'll just knit all the way across this right side row. Then on the wrong side row, I knit 3 for the garter stitch border, purl 4 for the back of the stockinette stitch, and now I'm going to show you how to do a C2B PURLWISE, otherwise known as a C2B. All we're going to do is pass a purl stitch over another purl stitch, and the result will be a cable that looks exactly like a normal C2B on the right side of your knitting. So first, purl the second stitch by taking the right hand needle down through the front of that stitch and doing all of the usual steps of a purl stitch. Just make sure you only bring one strand of yarn through to the back and you completely avoid the first stitch. Instead of slipping this stitch off the needle, you now need to purl into the first stitch. And you do this in the usual way. Then slip this stitch off the needle, as well as the second stitch. And that's the C2B PURLWISE completed. As you can see, this cable travels to the right when viewed from the right side of your knitting. As a side note, if you wanted to make this cable using a cable needle, you would slip the first stitch onto the cable needle and hold it at the back, then purl a stitch from the left hand needle and purl the stitch from the cable needle. And now I'm just purling 4 stitches before I show you the C2F PURLWISE, otherwise known as the CP2F. Right, so you first need to purl through the back loop of the second stitch. So take your right hand needle up through the back of that second stitch, which is quite awkward, and cross it over the first stitch. Do all of the usual steps of a purl stitch, making sure you bring only one strand of yarn through to the back, and completely avoiding the first stitch. Don't slip this stitch off the needle, but instead just purl into the first stitch as you normally would. Then slip this stitch off the needle, plus the second stitch. And that's the C2F PURLWISE completed. As you can see, when viewing the right side of the knitting, this cable travels to the left. Then to finish the row, I purl 4 and knit 3. As a side note, if you want to knit the C2F with a cable needle instead, then you would slip the first stitch purlwise onto the cable needle and hold it at the front, then purl a stitch off the left hand needle and purl the stitch off the cable needle. I then knit across the right side row, then knit 3 purled 4 on the wrong side row, and now I'm going to show you the C2B PURLWISE once more, but this time with a different method. For this method, you need to take your right hand needle in front of your left hand needle and go into the front of the second stitch. Then hold the first 2 stitches at the base, slide them off the left hand needle and put the left hand needle back into the available stitch. Then slip the stitch from the right hand needle back to the left hand needle purlwise. You've now swapped around these stitches. And then you just purl these 2 stitches. And that's another C2B PURLWISE completed. And then for the C2F PURLWISE, you need to take your right hand needle behind the left hand needle and down into the back of the second stitch. Hold the first 2 stitches at the base, slide them off the left hand needle, and then slide the left hand needle back into the available stitch. Then slip the stitch from the right hand needle back to the left hand needle purlwise. Then you purl both of these stitches. And that's another C2F PURLWISE completed. And here is the result. As you can see, it doesn't matter which method you use, all of the cables look the same. And that's it, that's how you do the PURLWISE versions of the C2B and C2F. I really hope you found this useful, and thank you very much for watching.